Hi friends, welcome back to this little corner of the internet. My name's Phoebe if you're new. I write inclusive, vegan and gluten-free recipes and I make videos relating to that, being neurodivergent, being a freelance writer and also a student of library studies. Speaking of, it is week 2 of term 1 for this year. The academic year in Australia goes from like Jan to December and I'm like fully back in it. Throughout January I was kind of increasingly getting Sunday scaries about it, just in terms of how I would balance my coursework with other work that I do, which is how I earn money and brings me so much joy, and really I feel quite miserable if I haven't got like one hand in that. So it's been good to like just finally start it and like start feeling out how that will work, because I started this diploma in the 4th term of last year and I just did 2 units and then like each term this year I'm picking up another one and it just is going to incrementally increase. I'm also someone who loves their creative outlets and not having time for them can really affect my mood, but I'm realizing, the amount that I'm partaking in different work or things for pleasure like will be a lot less, but I can still do things in all those areas, and actually it just might have to be much more intentional because the time that I have for that is a lot less. I saw my OT last week and I was saying how I think to feel good in myself and maintain a good mood, which translates to more motivation and more energy really, I think I want to dedicate my mornings, or at least the first part of my mornings, to my freelance work, things I was already doing and is not study related, and then get to my diploma after that. And she was like, yes, there's a term for this, it's like what you dedicate your gold star energy towards. I did do it a bit last week, and then because it's all self-paced, this diploma, I got a bit like, gotta get ahead, and just kind of overdid it towards the end of the week. So we tried again. It takes a lot of trust in myself to be like, you still will have energy in the second half of the day. Your subpar brain power hours can still complete this diploma, but that still does feel quite weird because like before starting ADHD medication like a bit over a year ago, I found it really hard to do brain power requiring things in the afternoon. Anyway, so we're gonna try again this week and we'll see how I can do with balancing everything and not beating myself up for whatever my best attempt looks like. As y'all know, I tend to make my to-do list the night before. It's a really overcast, gloomy day today, for which I'm kind of grateful. I find they help my productivity. I'm really proud of myself. I didn't think I was going to get through all that content. And I also started today on the Monday with the unit, subject, whatever, that I'm liking least and finding the hardest. So I'm feeling pretty good right now. It's 4 p.m, but I'm stopping. I'm going to walk Melbourne. I do have some like life admin stuff to do, but it's probably going to be downhill from here because something about Mondays I just like really strap in, and the felt collective body doubling of like Mondays are for work, which isn't true for everyone, but the feeling that it's a productive back into the work week kind of vibe really helps for me. Anyway, I'm tired as heck and my hair really needs a wash, but how I structured today really worked for me, and that's really satisfying. It's only Tuesday, but I'm already like super faced with the reality that I only really get one day a week that I academically, productivity, work, everything life-wise ace. Yeah, I know you shouldn't compare yourself to others, but I'm technically underloading, doing 3 units instead of 4 a semester, and it feels full-time. I'm gonna stop and keep some in the tank for later. I'm now gonna pop to the library. I have some reserves and a couple of books to return. Both were short reads, which I absolutely loved. Nostalgia Has Ruined My Life is about a 20-something-year-old woman who, following a period of illness, whilst also being disabled, is unemployed, she's trying to find a job, isn't feeling like her life amounts to anything. It's written in these like very short prose chunks that are connected in timeline but also very disconnected with space in between. And that chunky kind of writing is my favourite. I think it's very suited to ADHD readers because, at least for me, I need some like pendulation in my life, like ability to like lean into something, come out of it. I think it's why films I can find a bit too affecting. It's like a long form ride for your attention span and emotions, and being able to like step back for a bit and lean in is really regulating. And either writing that has short chapters or like chunks of prose kind of allows for that in the form. Then Small Boat is a work of fiction, but it's heavily inspired and a response to, I think, events in 2018, could be wrong, but it was where a boat of migrants crossing in an inflatable dinghy from France to England across the channel, they drowned and did call the French authority for help like something like 40 times, but the French told them incorrectly that they were in English waters and help never came. And the short novel is written from the perspective of the naval officer who's fielding the calls, and it has some information that is public knowledge. Like she said at one point to one of her colleagues, and it was picked up on the recording, that quote unquote, I didn't ask you to leave. And it's about her talking to the police during the course of the investigation, but it's also her inner monologue challenging the reader's own like moral compass about would you go and help someone, how we're all bystanders to suffering, how we are all asked to put our humanity to the side, to do the job, help people, whether certain events like these are the responsibility of certain individuals or systemic failings. Highly recommend. The only thing I didn't like about this book is that because it's the protagonist sort of thinking through these things and it's her stream of consciousness, they're very long sentences, and that like running on sentence vibe for page after page after page. I mean, it's probably rightly so for the subject matter, but you just don't get any chance to like breathe. Like your eyes like keep going, and then you realize, yeah, I'm not breathing and this is stressy, but really important layered writing if you are in the mood for that. I was not feeling so good this morning, and I woke up with the feeling of if I don't sew something this morning, I'm going to have a meltdown. So I'm listening to that. I plan on making a pouch in the shape of a star with a little zipper I found. I've been on the hunt for a very small zipper from op shops for ages. It's a bit old, but it works, and I want it to sit on, a side of the point of the star. The function of this pouch will be to hold all my hair clips, because I'm really enjoying like having a cute functional pouch with a cute keychain for like my makeup. So it's inspired by that. One side's this like kindergarten tea towel, and then I'm using this. It's my first time doing patchwork, whatever, learning curve, blah blah blah. This yellow will line it, and then I'll make a little like hook thing out of this fabric. I'm gonna attach the zip and then finish it another time, because I do have lots of uni work to do. Well, do I? I don't know. I'm starting to think whether self-paced courses are actually better for my type of brain and someone who just needs to be a little bit ahead to feel calm. The adjustment into this uni load is kind of hitting me. I have a lot of different stresses going on at the moment. Doesn't feel like the uni load and acclimatizing to that. It's like the cherry on top. It's not helping. But after this, I'm gonna aim to like just get a draft of an assignment done today. Why I am feeling so crummy though, I think, is I took Merlin along to therapy. It's like 3 years in the making. He's like been welcome to come any time, and obviously my therapist knows like he's a very special figure in my life, and also out of all the people in my world, he's probably the only one he could meet or like whatever come along. So I've wanted them to meet, but yeah, I've known a small random room for Merlin is not a place where he's gonna immediately be calm, and he just sort of goes in play mode and like becomes a puppy again, and that's fine, but I can also tell he's quite stressed and like he doesn't really know what to do. So I feel a bit responsible for that, and like I don't put him in those situations also for me. Like I find them really hard because extremely overstimulating. What I'm really most sad about, I think, is just that my worlds and like people and figures like Merlin that I love so much and like are really important in my life, like they can't more easily collide. Yeah. But back to sewing. Well, you live and you learn. Would not use batting next time because it's just too thick to push out the points. Obviously the neat star shape got a bit lost along the way. Will I be using it? Probs not, because the zip's just like too hard to open, frankly. Anyway, I refuse to be frustrated, and it was a nice bit of art therapy, much needed, on a day where I'm like clawing myself back slightly from losing the plot. As Bob Ross says, you're not failing if you're learning. Segueing onto more polished pieces of art, my fave comic writer, graphic illustrator Mandy from Melbourne, like 4 days ago announced she has a new book out. This is their style, and their book, When Someone Dies the Whole World Is Over, is like one of my favourite, most comforting reads ever. It's like slices of life, 1 page per day for a whole year. It's breathtaking, and this book follows the documenting a year timeline as well, but the overall theme is interactions with animals. This has come at the perfect time. I'm gonna treasure reading this. Food for the soul, her writing is, truly. I think I'll see you later in the week because I need to stop filming for a bit for my own sanity. Like, it's 3:30 p.m. And I know that's not late, and I know I need to adjust my thinking around time. But how is it 3:30 p.m? Do other people experience part of the day just goes so fast for them? For me, it's lunch till 4 p.m. or 4:30. It just goes so fast. Me, I feel there's only like 1 good hour maybe of work getting done, maybe an hour and a half if you're lucky. And I know I need to stop comparing myself to others and having these thoughts around like, how do other people study full time, with a job, with a child, do 2 degrees at the same time? Like, who are those total fruitcakes? Like, I've known this, but why am I like relearning it in a really painful way of just, I don't have the same number of like output hours in a day as some other people, and I need to make peace with that. But it's so frustrating. Like, I really only have 1 day a week where I get lots of different things done. Maybe there'll be a day on the weekend as well, but that's only powered by ADHD and doing something really, really different. So when you have to be working away on the same thing for a long period of time, it's just not going to happen like back to back super productive days. And I'm realizing too that I was having a really good relationship to task switching in my like holidays, I think because I was doing things that I enjoy more. And now it's like no task switch, but between uni work and an assignment and then boring life admin, and all those things don't bring the same amount of dopamine. Hello again, it's now Saturday. I made it to the weekend and feeling a bit better. I ended up not doing any uni work yesterday. I was doing cookbook admin for the 3rd print run in the morning, secured like 3 or 4 more stockists, which is awesome, and I had a nap in the afternoon. Naps are really crucial to my fatigue, even like mental health management, and I hadn't had one for a while, but it is so much harder for me to feel like a nap is a good idea and like just go and do it when I'm doing things which are hard or like in the lead up to something which like I don't really want to do. Napping and pacing myself in hindsight in the lead up to my book launch and around like when my cookbook coming out was busiest last year was kind of really easy, but internally I'm like a resistant grumpy toddler who doesn't want to go down for a nap when I'm feeling overwhelmed, stressed, got lots of things on my plate that I didn't choose for. Anyway, I never regret a nap. Just to contradict what I probably said at the top of this video, maybe this is what the balance will be in my weeks. Maybe Monday morning and all of Friday will be the non-negotiable time that I block out for work I want to do. Anyway, it's Saturday, and a routine that I am really loving is doing some baking recipe testing on a weekend morning. Specifically baking because I don't have the biggest sweet tooth, and so to minimize food waste, regularly testing things, you know, a week apart means I don't end up with too much food waste and can really enjoy the process rather than be overwhelmed and frustrated by how much I'm producing, blah blah blah. I think I'm either like 1 or 2 more tests away from a really fluffy vegan and gluten-free pancake recipe, so that's what I'll be testing this morning. I really want to start putting some recipes aside for the next cookbook because I have the concept, the title all in mind, and knowing myself and my energy levels and life circumstances, how long these things take, I think it would be good for my mental health to just like have that ticking over, even if it's at the most snail paces.